When people think about World War III, they often imagine battlefields and military strategy. But one of the biggest impacts of a global war would be economic, especially for the United States. In this video, we'll explain how a large-scale conflict could affect the US economy, from jobs and prices to trade and daily life. Modern economies are deeply connected. The United States trades with countries all over the world for energy, technology, food, and raw materials. A global conflict would disrupt these connections very quickly. One of the first impacts would be on global trade routes. Many goods Americans rely on travel through key shipping lanes and ports. If conflict affects major regions or sea routes, shipping could slow down or stop in certain areas. This would create shortages and delays for products ranging from electronics to household goods. Energy markets would also react immediately. Oil and gas prices often rise during geopolitical crises because of uncertainty about supply. Higher energy prices affect transportation, manufacturing, and household costs. Americans could see higher fuel prices and increased costs for everyday goods. Financial markets tend to respond strongly to global instability. Stock markets might become more volatile as investors react to uncertainty. Businesses could delay investments, and consumer confidence might drop. This can slow economic growth even before any direct physical impact is felt. Another major factor is supply chains. Many industries in the United States depend on components made in other countries. If factories abroad are disrupted by conflict or sanctions, production in the US can be affected. This can lead to reduced availability of products and higher prices. The US government would likely increase defense spending during a major global conflict. This can create jobs in certain industries, but it also shifts resources away from other areas of the economy. Budgets become tighter, and priorities change. Trade policies might also shift. Sanctions, export controls, and restrictions can become more common during major international crises. While these tools are used for national security, they can also limit economic activity and raise costs. For individuals, the effects would vary. Some sectors, like defense and infrastructure, might see growth. Others that rely heavily on international trade or tourism could struggle. It's important to note that the US economy is large and resilient. It has managed through past crises by adapting and shifting production. However, a global war involving major powers would be one of the most serious challenges the modern economic system could face. Government policies would aim to stabilize markets, support key industries, and maintain essential services. Central banks might take steps to support financial stability, while policymakers work to keep supply chains functioning as much as possible. The overall picture is not one of instant collapse, but of significant stress and adjustment. Prices, availability of goods, and economic growth could all be affected, sometimes in ways people do not expect. Understanding the economic side of global conflict helps show why countries work so hard to prevent escalation. The consequences would extend far beyond the battlefield. If you want more calm, clear explanations of how global events could affect the United States in everyday life, consider subscribing. Staying informed helps you better understand a complex world.